For years, the legal battle involving Nnamdi Kanu has remained one of the most closely watched cases in Nigeria, drawing strong opinions from across the country. Now, fresh reports are circulating about a major turn in that long-running case claims that the Court of Appeal has moved to quash his conviction and that compensation running into hundreds of millions of naira has been ordered. What exactly happened? How did it get to this point? And what could this mean for Nigeria going forward? That is what we're breaking down today. Before we go deeper, if you appreciate clear and balanced updates like this, stories explained in a way that actually makes sense, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with others who want credible updates, and drop your thoughts in the comments because your voice matters in conversations like this. Now, here is where things become important. In recent months, Nnamdi Kanu formally challenged the conviction handed down against him, arguing through his legal team that serious legal errors were made during his trial. According to court filings reported by several Nigerian media outlets, his appeal questioned not only the verdict itself, but also the legal process that led to the sentence. His lawyers reportedly argued that procedure was not properly followed in some areas, and that key legal issues deserved review at a higher court. That appeal was always going to be a major moment because this is not an ordinary case. This is a matter that has touched on national security debates, constitutional arguments, questions around due process, and strong political emotions across different parts of Nigeria. For supporters of indigenous people of Biafra, the appeal represented hope that the judicial system might reconsider earlier rulings. For others, it raised difficult questions about how the state handles sensitive national cases. Either way, many Nigerians were waiting closely for the next legal development. Now, reports circulating in local discussions indicate that the appellate process may have delivered a dramatic outcome, including claims that the earlier conviction was set aside. Some versions of those reports also mentioned compensation figures, including figures as high as 700 million naira. However, it is important to be careful here. While these claims are spreading widely online, independent confirmation from highly reliable official court records remains limited in publicly accessible reporting, so viewers should treat sensational claims with caution until full court documents or formal judicial communication are clearly available. And this is where many people may ask, if such a ruling stands, how could something that serious happen? The answer is simple: appeals exist because the justice system recognizes that lower court decisions can be challenged. Higher courts review whether law was properly applied, whether procedure was followed correctly, whether rights were protected, and whether the judgment itself was legally sound. If an appellate court finds major flaws, it can overturn a conviction, order retrial, reduce punishment, or issue other remedies depending on what the law permits. In plain language, it means a case is not always finished at the first major judgment. The legal system allows another look, and sometimes that second look changes everything. For many Nigerians watching this story, what matters most is not only the outcome, but what it says about the judiciary. If legal errors were found, that raises bigger conversations about accountability, fairness, and confidence in the court process. If the reports are inaccurate or exaggerated, that also shows why verified information matters in today's fast-moving media environment, where headlines can travel faster than facts. There is also a wider national impact. The case involving Nnamdi Kanu has never existed in isolation. It has affected political discussions, security debates, public trust, and conversations across parts of the Southeast and beyond. Any major legal development, whether confirmed, challenged, or clarified, is likely to trigger reactions from supporters, critics, legal experts, political voices, and ordinary Nigerians simply trying to understand what comes next. And honestly, that is where calm understanding matters most. Rather than reacting purely from emotion, many Nigerians will be looking for verified court documents, official statements, and expert legal analysis to understand the true meaning of any ruling. Because sometimes a headline may sound final, while the legal process may still have additional stages, clarifications, or further appeals attached to it. That difference is important. If you've made it this far, this is a good point to support the channel by liking this video, subscribing if you're new here, sharing it with friends and family, and most importantly, commenting below. Do you think cases of this national importance should be explained more clearly to the public, or do you believe too much misinformation surrounds sensitive court matters in Nigeria? I'd really like to hear your thoughts. At the heart of everything, this story is bigger than one person. It touches on justice, due process, the strength of institutions, and how Nigeria handles deeply sensitive national questions. Whether these latest reports are fully confirmed in their strongest form or later clarified, one thing is certain: the legal and political conversation around this case is far from over. Stay informed, stay thoughtful, and always wait for facts before jumping to conclusions. As more details continue to emerge, one of the biggest questions many Nigerians are quietly asking is what this could mean for the future, not just legally, but politically and socially as well. If a higher court truly finds that a conviction should not stand, it naturally creates wider conversations about how major national cases are investigated, prosecuted, and judged. People begin to ask whether enough evidence was presented, whether legal procedure was strictly followed, and whether the rights of every person, regardless of how controversial they may be, were fully respected under the law. Those are not small questions. They go to the heart of what justice is supposed to look like in any democratic society. And that is why this matter continues to draw such intense public attention. For some Nigerians, especially those who have followed this case closely from the beginning, any legal victory for Nnamdi Kanu would be viewed as a powerful moment, one that could reshape long-standing narratives around his detention and prosecution. Supporters may see it as proof that persistence in the legal system can produce results. They may point to it as a reminder that appeals courts exist for a reason to review, correct, and interpret the law where necessary. But on the other side, there are also many Nigerians who will be asking what this means for national unity, security concerns, and the wider political atmosphere. Some will wonder whether such a development could ease tensions in parts of the country. Others may question whether it could create fresh political debates. In a nation as diverse and emotionally invested as Nigeria, major court decisions rarely affect only the courtroom. They often echo into everyday conversations, radio discussions, family debates, and community gatherings. And that is where responsible discussion becomes very important. Moments like this can easily become emotional, especially online, where headlines are often shortened, context is removed, and speculation spreads quickly. One post becomes another post, one rumor becomes a fact, and before long, many people are reacting to information that may not even be fully verified. That is why careful attention to official court records, formal statements, and credible reporting matters so much. Because facts should lead the conversation, not noise. Another important issue people are discussing is the compensation angle. Reports mentioning figures in the hundreds of millions of naira naturally attract attention because that is a major amount by any standard. If compensation is ever ordered in a legal matter, it usually raises serious questions about what grounds were considered, what rights may have been affected, and what legal reasoning supported such an award. Compensation in law is not simply about money. It can also represent a court's view on whether harm, loss, or wrongful action deserves legal remedy. That is why people are paying close attention to every detail surrounding this story. And beyond politics, beyond courtrooms, beyond headlines, there is also the human side of this long-running matter. Years of legal battles carry emotional weight on families, on communities, on supporters, on critics, and on the wider public who have watched events unfold for so long. Court cases that stretch over years often become larger than the original legal arguments. They become symbols of struggle, disagreement, principle, or national debate. In Nigeria, stories like this do not disappear quickly because they connect deeply with how people see justice, fairness, and leadership. This is also a reminder that the law can move slowly, but when key rulings come, they can change the entire direction of public conversation almost overnight. One judgment can reopen debate. One legal interpretation can challenge years of assumptions. One appeal can shift the national mood. That is the power of the courts when major cases are involved. And if you're finding value in this breakdown clear, balanced, and straight to the point, take a moment now to like this video, share it so others can hear the full context. Subscribe if you want more thoughtful updates on major Nigerian stories, and drop your honest opinion in the comment section because respectful discussion is always welcome here. What happens next will matter greatly. Will there be official clarifications? Will further legal processes follow? Will public reaction calm tensions or increase debate? Will political voices weigh in strongly? These are all questions many Nigerians are waiting to see answered. For now, the smartest approach is patience, careful attention to verified developments, and thoughtful conversation built on facts rather than emotion. Because in moments like this, understanding what truly happened is far more important than reacting to the loudest headline.